Rick Sosbe is the pastor of the Metropolitan Community Church of Our Redeemer in Augusta, Georgia. And after he received his county's first gay marriage license, his church was vandalized. Stay classy. So let's take a look at the damage here. So for everybody listening on the live show, it says, burn Leviticus 18:22, lies, and that was put on the front of the building, and another message pointed to Leviticus 18:20 and warned, quote, you'll burn. So this is clearly just an anti-gay message here and directly quoting scripture. So Sosbe spoke to the press after he discovered the vandalism, and he said the following, quote, is that what Christianity, right-wing fundamentalist Christianity, has come to? Well, allow me to answer that for them. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it's come to. The right-wing fundamentalist Christians cherry-pick the worst parts of the Bible and say that those are the parts that are inarguable. Now, it's hilarious because they don't cherry-pick the happy parts of the Bible and say those are inarguable, even though they're also in the Bible. So, like Jesus being a big-time hippie and basically a communist and caring about the poor and hating the rich. That part, they're like, ignore that part, we don't really like it. But the hating gays, they're all on board with that. But in all seriousness, the argument I would use to counter them is not even necessarily like, hey man, stop hating gays, because like that's not nice. Because what are they going to do in response? They're going to say, no, look, it's in the book. So it's in the book, so you shut the fuck up. God says do this, so I'm going to do this. So instead, the way you kneecap their argument is to quote other passages of the Bible that are beyond ridiculous and that nobody abides by. And you say to them, okay, you believe the Bible? Great. These things, do these things also, because they're in the Bible. You don't even know they're in the Bible, but now you do, so now you have no excuse. So, which part specifically am I referring to here? How about Deuteronomy 23:1? Now, in Deuteronomy 23:1, what's the message? Men with wounded penises aren't allowed in church. Well, that's interesting. Now, they would look at that and say, well, you know, transgender people, yeah, that's what that means. Don't let them in church. You know who else isn't allowed in church, according to that part of the Bible? Guys who are circumcised. A lot of these guys are circumcised. Sorry, get the fuck out of the church. Don't you dare disrespect God. How about Timothy 2:11? Women are banned from being teachers in that. So, okay, you guys believe the Bible's literally true? Go ahead. Run for public office and say, I want to ban women from being teachers. See how far that gets you. Luke 16:18. Divorce and remarrying are both considered adultery. So you guys hate gays, that's clear. Do you also say, hey, if you're divorced, you know, you're an abomination in the eyes of God, and you should be put to death. If you're remarried, same thing. No, you don't do that, because you're cherry-picking. How about Deuteronomy 23:2? If you're born out of wedlock, you're banned from church. Which, by the way, means what? No orphanages. The entire premise, the entire idea of orphanages doesn't make sense, and you need to shut them down if you actually believe the Bible. How about Matthew 5:28? Even a look counts as adultery. So all these guys, fuck the gays suck, gays suck. You think some of them, well, some of them are giving a look to guys like that, but whether they're looking at guys or girls in a horny way, that counts as adultery also. Kill yourself. Okay? So you're violating the Bible just as much, if not more than anybody else. Leviticus 26. If you disobey God, you must eat your babies. Yeah, I'm sure all of you have done this, right? You've disobeyed God, and then you've had to say, look, I gotta eat Kevin. Kevin's my little 3-year-old. I love the little guy, but what are you gonna do? Fuck it. I gotta eat him. I gotta listen to God. God is God. It's not debatable. Corinthians 11:5. Women must cover their heads during prayer. So you guys attack the Muslims for that, right? It says the same thing in your goddamn holy book, and you don't listen to it. Why? Because you're cherry-picking. You don't actually believe. If you really, really believed, why wouldn't you read the whole thing and try to implement everything? Deuteronomy 25. If a woman defends her husband, cut her hands off. I'm sure that's happened with you guys, right? You know, Jeff gets into a little tussle at the bar. His wife jumps in or something, tries to defend. Cut her hand off. Got to do it. Matthew 10. Your family is your enemy, and you are all competing for God's love. Well, that's interesting. So a passage in the Bible is basically exactly like Osama bin Laden. Because that's what bin Laden argued. Leave your family, follow me, follow Al-Qaeda. You should care more about God than your family. You should care more about your religion than your family. That's exactly what it says in the Bible. None of you guys say it. You pretend it says the opposite. You pretend the Bible's all about family. It's not. It says leave your family and follow God. Deuteronomy 22. Stone the non-virgins. I'm sure you guys do that. Cursing at your parents warrants death in Leviticus 29. Should I continue? You know the rest. No shellfish, no mixes of two different fabrics. Kill yourself if you've ever had that or ever worn that. Your wife needs to sleep outside when she's on her period. No more haircuts or tattoos or body piercings. All this is in the Bible. You ignore it all because it doesn't fit your preconceived notions and the ideology you already have. So you're definitely cherry-picking everything, and you're cherry-picking based on hate and your backwards culture, which is why you're pathetic.